I'm sorry if I do not speak French. But I promise I will learn for the next event. Okay. And I try to speak English in a clear way. So if you don't understand some part, please stop me and I try to repeat again. Okay. Okay. Perfect. 2 minutes? Okay. Okay, just a couple of words around this presentation. I appreciate very much the previous presentation around the application of tourism in this special historical moment and technological moment. What we are presenting today is the infrastructure and the business model in order to create all the applications that are useful for the tourism to be used and to develop in a city. As all the city, I think in Europe and maybe in the world also, we have all that application in this moment, such as the application of virtual reality, the application around the information of the cities, the application for the bus and all the mobility of the city. So all the application around the event of our city. So all the applications that are useful for the tourism in order to come in our city, understand how our city is done, which are the events of that moment, where they can stay, and what they can do during the period that they are in our city. So I don't know if the presentation, no? It's ready? Just, okay. One thing that we are doing in our city in order to push more the tourism industry is create partnership between our cities and the other city around the Piedmont. So as one event is done in our city, is also the information is also spread in the city around Torino. And otherwise, if a good event or a big event is done in the other city around Torino, the advertising is also done by our city. So we have we are lucky because around, as in France, around our city, we have a lot of events that can catch the tourist around food, around good wine, around good way of living and good lifestyle. So for this reason, we have more facilitated in order to attract tourism in our city. So let's try. I don't know if somebody knows Torino and have spent some days in Torino. Okay. Okay, good. So for the other, let's come to Torino. Okay, Torino is a city of 130 kilometers square. So it's a medium-sized city. We have 800,000 citizens, and we have 137,000 of foreigners. So it's a medium city without any big problematic of traffic and movement of people. And we start our openness to other cities in around 2005, 2006, when we have the Olympics game, the Winter Olympic Games in Torino. We have also a good university in Torino. We have two public universities, the University of Torino and the Polytechnic of Torino. We have 100,000 students, so we are a student city where a student come in our city, spend the years of the university and then go away or maybe stay with us. A good environment for innovation, 2 public incubators, 2 private accelerators, 4 private co-working. So we create in our city the environment to attract and to give the opportunity to young people to stay in our city, to develop their idea, to create their own job. And we create 334 startups. So we are really focused in this environment of co-working, incubation, accelerator, and startup creation. When I started working in Torino 1 year ago, the first question that we asked to ourselves is why we have to create an innovative city full of IoT technology, application, and which is the feedback for our citizens and for people that come to visit our cities. What we understand immediately is that what we have to create is increasing our social, economical, and personal sustainability. This means that people, when come in our city, wants to create a good, wants to find a good way of living with other people. So create a social environment immediately, meet other people, spend good days, understand the mood of our city. And for our citizen is the same. Our citizens want from our city a good relationship with the other person. They want to have an economical stability, of course, as everybody wants. And also they want to have a personal sustainability. This means that everyone have their own idea of life. And every citizen, each citizen want to develop what he or she wants in his life. So maybe his own work, maybe his personal passion. And so we have to give this customization to our citizen and to persons that come in our cities, to live our cities. For doing this, of course, technology is really useful, especially technology around data, and especially technology around IoT that can create data in order to understand how people live our cities and to give back the right services. So we start from a vision, of course, as everybody, and we start from this vision that we want a social digital city for each citizen. So each citizen and each person that come in our city has to find what he wants or what she wants. For understanding this, the process is very long, because first of all we have to understand the phenomena around, for example, tourism, but also the phenomena around how person and citizen live our cities, and then we have to understand the specific details and need of each citizen and each person around our cities. So in the vision, we structure the index of our visions. This means that we reach that vision if we increase the efficiency of our activities, if we increase the customization of our activities and our services, if we increase also different and new social model, because for us the innovation is not in the technological things, but the innovation is in a new way, in new creation of model. Think about car sharing, new model of living a good, the car, that is not more a good, but it's a service. We try to push the same in the house. So house is not a good anymore, but it can be changed in a services, because we need a different type of house in a different period of our life. So again, goods is not more seen as things that people have to buy, like when you have 18-year-olds, you need a car, but now you can share a car, so you have a car. So we change the approach and we create a new social innovation model in order to be more sustainable, because we share the cost, more ethical, because we don't create pollution, and more social, because we, for example, we push pool sharing, so we become more social. Okay, yes. This is the reason that we don't use the technology, because I'm not able to use technology. Okay, as every vision, after every vision, you have to think about the strategies, of course. And in each cities, you can have two kinds of strategy. An offensive strategy, because we have to respect the regulation, of course, and an offensive strategy, because we need to create new services in order to attract people in our territory, in order to ask to our citizens to stay in our cities, because we have opportunity for them. So these two strategies is our strategy. One offensive strategy in order to have more user, more citizen, more people, and then defensive strategy in order, of course, to respect the policy and the regulation around the public administration. Another things that we focus is the why. So why we are doing things, why we using virtual reality, why we using that technology, why we are doing that project, and not how we are doing that project. This is stupid things, but it's helpful to stop some project in the public administration and to push other projects, because in this way you can understand the focus of citizen, and so put the citizen exactly in the center of your services. Of course, also here we have some index. The index of offensive strategy is for us public and enabling technology. So one point of attraction of people is create open technologies in order to give the opportunity to people, startup and organization to use our technological structure and to test a new idea on our structure. Create an agile methodology to develop services, and also an open methodology. We are creating an open community in order to develop services, not only in Torino, in all the country, and then not only in all the country, but in all the world. So, and also to create an agile methodology. In the public administration, what happens is that you create a project to create another project that then help to create other project that maybe it's never a services. So what we want to focus our public administration is to create services. So to create project, and the end of the project is a product, it's a service, it's not a study of factibility study of things. It's a service that I can use, my citizen can use, the tourist can use. Okay, I learn quick. So, as we have two strategies, we have also the pillar of our strategy. Of course, the first pillar is data. Data help us in the tourist application approach and in understanding how people that live our cities stay in our city. So give us the big data, give us the opportunity to understand the phenomena, and give us also the opportunity to understand the single case. The second point is the physical infrastructure. So why we sensorize all our cities, why we put camera in all our cities, why? We do this because we want to understand data in all the area, and we want to have a defensive strategy because we have a problem of pollution and problem of noise. And we want to have an offensive strategy in order to push some area against other. So we have area in our city that has better data, better services, data, for example, of pollution, data of noises, data of security, data around mobility. And there are the other area of other cities that are not so good. So we need to compare this area in order to create good policy in the bad area, and in order to create that competition around the city that help each area to grow. Digitalization of services and artificial intelligence. So we need to use data and infrastructure to create services for tourists, to create services for population, and to continue to understand which is the best services that our tourists need in order to better live our cities. Then participation. Citizens and tourists that come in our cities need to participate to the life of our cities. So we need to give them the services and the tools in order to participate to the life of our cities, to give us feedback in order to improve our services. Another thing that we are doing is attraction, new technology and model. Again, if there is new technology, we want to test in our cities, and we want to test in our city also new regulation and new policy and new business model in order to create model and to improve the life of our citizen again and the person that live in our cities. And the sixth pillar is creation of social innovation. We have a lot of social problem as every city has. Think about welfare, think about poverty, think about engaging with young people, think about sport of young people. For example, we have a big problem in our city around teenagers. Teenagers stop doing sport, young people stop doing sport when they start the teenager age. So around 12 years old, 11 years old, when mother and father stop pushing their activity, they stop doing sport. And from the other side, we have the city full of bike sharing. So this is a model. This is the two pillars for a new model. So why we don't try to push the use of the bike sharing in the teenagers, for example, in order to solve our why. And why is our problem? So the fact that teenagers do not use a bike, do not do sport. Never. So for each pillar, we have a big project. The first project around the data is Torino is a platform. We try to turn data in information and information in intelligence in order to, first of all, understand the phenomena. Second, monitoring. Then prevent problem. Then discover problem. And finally, decide. What happened in our administration now is some decisions are taking using the mood of people, not using the data. And then we do not monitoring our project, so we do not know if that decision have a good impact in our population, a good impact in the tourism attraction. Why? Because we don't have the data. Exactly the data that understand the impact in our territory. For example, for the tourism now, we are trying to find the data of the economical impact of tourists, of all the events in our city. And we monitor the impact using the heat map of the people around our territory. The heat map is, I don't know if you, I think that you know what is a heat map. So is how the people stay in one part of our territory and how they move and when they move and for how many time they stay in another part of the territory. So it's the matrix that we call origin destination. So using this data, we understand how the people live our city, and if the tourists stay in the shop, and for how many minutes and they spend in our shops around the city. And if we understand this, and if we understand also how many times they use the bancomat in our city, we can proximally understand the impact of each event in our city. And if we understand this, we can push one event in order of other event, in order to increase the economical activity of our organization in our territory. Always using this project, we monitoring the phenomena around our territory, like movida, fiesta, party. So young people spend a lot of night hour during the night doing party in some part of the city, and so this creates some problem, and that can be prevented. And so, studying this phenomenon, we understand the problematic and we prevent the problematic. For the first problematic is garbage. The second problematic is noise. So we start. Some young people start looking down because thinking that you produce a lot of noise during the night in the city. And so we are trying to create a new regulation, new policy to help young people to continue doing a party, but also help other citizens to sleep well during the night. So we have this data platform very quickly, because I don't know how many time I have, where we understand the variety of our data, the velocity of our data, and the volume. Of course, you have different kind of data, and you have different velocity of this data that you want to track, and different volume. Imagine, for example, the camera. The data of the camera that has a big volume, and the data of IoT that has not a big volume. So we have these different things. We analyze the data with the data analysis, and we create a map of services where our citizen can give a feedback. So our citizen can give a feedback in our service and can say if a service is good or not, is useful or not. And again, also the tourists can do this. So we understand if one service and one application is good and is useful for our citizen, because we create that is useful. The stakeholder of our cities create maybe that is useful. Private organization believe that is useful, but then if citizens do not use that application, if tourists do not use that application, is not useful at all. One part of the data is open, in order to push the use of this data, in order to create a new application. The last application that our open community create is up 18 years old. So an application just last weekend, it was created in 48 hours, an application that help 18 years old to person to leave our cities, to leave our territory. So why it's possible to do this? Because we create a platform that enabling services. We create an open platform that are enabling services. We open data that can help a person to have new idea on services. So you know that everybody, when go in a city, always say, why this city do not have this, or why we do not do that. With this project, we want to give the device to create this, or to create that services that really need citizen. Of course, physical infrastructure, very quickly. We create physical infrastructure, we create a network, we create ultra broadband, and okay, and we sensorize our cities. How? For us, the hub of the smart city are the primary school. So we start sensorizing all the primary school. We start to bring the ultra broadband to primary school. We start to open Wi-Fi from the primary school. We start to put camera from the primary school. Why? Because in this way we have, first of all, we have 173 primary schools in all our territory, so we spread the smart city in all our territory. We create 173 hubs, and then because in this way we can create also competencies around IoT technology, around data inside school. So we do this, we reach these two goals. This is our infrastructure, physical infrastructure, starting from your right, the LoRa network, ultra-wideband, data and sensor from consumption data, mobility data, noise data, environmental data in order to track pollution, video camera, and Wi-Fi free. So this is all our physical infrastructure in order to support people in our territory. So people can know in our territory the pollution in one area, they can know the noise, they know the data around mobility, the data around consumption of electricity, and they can use our low rate network, and they have free Wi-Fi. Of course, we have a map of services, as I told you. We are creating the TripAdvisor, we call this the TripAdvisor of services. And we are doing this not alone, of course, with the collaboration of the public administration of the center of our country and with the collaboration of our citizens. Of course, we structure a strict matrix of priority, and what we are doing first is what has the service that has the big impact on our citizens and people that live our cities, and the most simple service to develop. So more it's simple, and first we do it. We start for the civil registry. I don't know if the name is the same in the civil registry. I don't know if you have the same name. Is all the practice. Okay, l'anagrafe. Okay, then mobility, then the part of education, so all the service around children, then security, culture and commerce. This is our roadmap. Okay. We created this, I don't want to share you all the project, but just one thing, that we create platform in order to enabling services, and the platform are around the payment, the platform are around ID identification of a citizen, and the platform are around creation the interconnection of the data of the citizen in all our cities, in all our countries. And of course we have a lot, thanks to Fortunata Armocida, that is one of my colleagues that also work in the international relationship, but also in the European project. We are full of European project, and what we are doing is try to structure this project around our pillar. So we have project around data, and we try to create, to push all the output of our European project in this pillar in order to create new services that are useful for our cities. So you can read the Novoleg project, SETA project, Urban Wings project, and social care project. So we are really full of projects. We create, as I told you, social model around we try to create in Torino a social innovation hub in order to solve problems related to welfare, related to inclusion, and related to poverty. And we create a lot of projects around this. We have a social innovation center that attract people to work around the social problem. So we do a lot of international call in order to attract people in our city and to stay in that center for a couple of weeks in order to develop innovative ideas around the social innovation. We create a social innovation startup. We finance with 1 million social idea all over the Europe, and we support with a crowdfunding academy, a new form of funding for startup. Of course, we have also here a lot of European projects. We try to include, as I told you, all citizens and all people in our cities. So we have a platform where citizen and person can give their opinion around services and around projects in our cities, and can define a project. And if other citizens vote and support that project, so the public administration can only analyze the economical sustainability and then has to do that project. We create a participation map in our cities in order to give the opportunity to all the citizens, to all the people to know what happened in the other part of the cities. We try to attract new technology in order to create a city laboratory, 5G technology for the virtual reality and for the virtual application, cybersecurity technology, new sensorization, new type of camera in our cities, different use of ultra broadband, robotic for the interaction of human with the robotics, autonomous car. For example, in the robotic part, we have created a robotic bar with Carlo Ratti that give a cocktail to young person.
It will make a lot of noise.
Yes, I know, but I know this is a problem. But it's an alcoholic cocktail. Because it's for free, so no, and so to understand the interaction, the collaboration between robotics and citizen, and then we push autonomous car and we create a free zone in our cities in order to test autonomous car. Not because it's not a stable technology, because it's a stable technology, but because the problem is the regulation part. And so we need to create, again, the model around autonomous car. We say that in 20 years, the autonomous car will be the normal things that help us to move for one point to another. And so we need to support the new model of this technology. And then drone used for different things, not only to move in the security, not only to move things and goods, so in the logistic, but also for painting building, for example. We are using drone for painting building. And we use new technology like blockchain technology in order to recreate process inside the public administration. And we have also new model with testing new social innovative project around our cities. We create 8 houses in physical houses in the 8 block of our cities. Houses, the name is Case del Quartiere, so is a house of the area, of the block, where citizens can meet, where tourists can go there and have information around that block and can share event of the city and can share also problematic. And this model that started 6 years ago, it's a model that all our citizens use and all tourists use, and so it's a good model that we want to improve. And that's it. So thank you very much.